Hey, how is everybody doing? In Brookings, South Dakota right now, but in the mid 90s, I was in Orange County, California, and I went and tried to buy crack from these undercover police officers that were posing as crack dealers, which is deemed unconstitutional now. And I wanted to try to buy $15 of crack from them, and they ended up being undercover police and sold me a macadamia nut. But on the sentencing, there's a thing called a Romero hearing. And that Romero hearing is if you have a strike. So the judge has to have a hearing to say, Mr. Mafucci, that's my last name, Giovanni Mafucci. Yes, the criteria, the law, the elements of the law from New York State match our law out here. And it is a strike, and you will be sentenced to prison instead of a drug program. I never had that hearing. And come to find out, I never had a strike. So I did 15 years in prison when I shouldn't have done 15 minutes in prison. And it just sits with me a little, when you get screwed over in life bad, anybody, I know how that feels because you want to be, you want things to be justified. You're like, that's not fair. The life's not fair. And I just want to say that um, who went with me to prison was Jesus. And he made sure that I ended up living through a situation I possibly couldn't have lived through without him. I know that 3 weeks before I got out of prison, they killed a guy um, with a lock, hitting him in the head, breaking part of his head off and into the wall, and he died. Um, and that's the type of violence that I had to live with on an unabated basis. There was constant fights, constant, just riots, constant tension. Um, and prison is no fun. Let me tell you, it's no joke. And if you do a crime if you do a crime like carjacking or residential burglary, these kind of crimes are punishable by prison. But if you don't do a crime, if you buy a $14 macadamia nut off a police officer, I said, give me a break, dude. I did all that prison time for that. I mean, for a macadamia walnut, a macadamia nut, not a walnut, a macadamia nut, because it looks like a crack rock and it's not. And I was just called a couple attorneys and see if I could get justified. And oh, we don't take that type of case. So we only handle tax law, and it's what it says on their website. They handle criminal and civil law. I wish they would, wake up on their website. But it seems that it was. Um, it seems like I'm not going to be compensated for that. So that's a part of my life that I'm just going to have to say, Lord, I don't understand why I was dealt with that harshly, but thank you for doing what you did because your judgment is perfect. So when I look at it from a sense from God's perspective, his judgment is perfect on me, and that's the way I got to view it. There's a lot of times we go through bad things and we don't know what the cause it. We're like, man, I didn't cause this. I didn't start this fight. I didn't do this. But nevertheless, you're going to go through it. You're going to live through it. I mean, I was in a car accident where I lost my leg. To make it even worse, the accident was not her fault. It was three other vehicles' fault. And my passenger got killed. And I've got an amputated leg for the past 11 years. And pinned in a wheelchair. And to make it worse, my attorney in California, communist California, stole my settlement. Of The settlement was $3.5 million, and I was supposed to get 2/3 of that. And I got penniless, left penniless on Skid Row. The lawyer got away with it. Of course, it's the second time he did it. The first time he got disbarred. The second time they seemed like they didn't even care. It seems like all the money that's being shoveled out of the government with USAID and Social Security and all these different administrative uh, bureaus that handle finance, even sending it to NGOs, which are non-governmental agents organizations. They're the worst. We have so many people that want to see the destruction of our country, and we're not out of the woods yet just because Cash Patel and Pam Bundy are, Pam Bundy's the head of the Department of Justice and Cash Patel's the head of the FBI, and, Pete Hegseth's the Department of Defense. That doesn't mean, Elon Musk is, going through persecution in his life right now. He doesn't know why. All he knows why is he's trying to help the U.S. government, put, to be able to pull an audit and be able to get their fiscal, you know, affairs in order. And they're not in order right now. Our country's headed for bankruptcy. If we don't get this under control, I hope Trump takes this serious and gets it under control. Because, if we would have got Kamala Harris and Tampon Tim in there, there's a chance it's, in approximately from them taking office, another 3 to 6 years, and our country would have been divest. There would have been belly up. Um, so I just want to say a lot of times, um, shit's wrong, and it stays like that, and it doesn't get turned right. And you got to make the best out of the situation that you're given, and God will bring blessings in your life that you don't expect, different ones, new ones. Um, I sometimes ask him, Lord, I wish I had a companion that was, of my same mindset and was, a national populist conservative Christian and really a Christian, because there's really good Christian women out there, but they just haven't crossed my path. So I guess the path ain't gonna be crossed, so it is what it is. But I hope this podcast reached somebody today that's going through something that ain't fair, and just know life ain't fair, man. That's I was a semi-pro fighter, and the only fair things you get usually sometimes you get a robbery and a judgment and a decision boxing, but they're usually pretty fair and good. And I think that's the most fair in life I've ever had. It was when I was boxing, because you're going up against somebody that's a one-on-one, and you're trying to throw punches at him and he's throwing them at you, and whoever lands the best shots. It's truth. It's real, and it's not by outside agencies affecting the outcome of the decision of me boxing with another heavyweight. Um, Being in a wheelchair sucks sometimes, but it is what it is. You have your fun days too, but just remember, Jesus is the light of the world, and the way he was treated on this earth was pretty bad, really bad. And he's 33 years old, and they put him to death because they didn't like the things he was saying, because he was giving eternal life to everybody. Isn't that something? He wants bringing eternal life, and they crucify him. It's something else, man. Humans are something else. That's all I got to say. I really don't like lawyers. I can't stand them, actually. But God bless everybody. Have a great day. Thanks.